Welcome back to the Rise with Anita podcast, or welcome if you're new here. I am trusting that if this is the first time you are finding me, you are in the right place. Before we dive in, I'm going to ask you to slow this moment down. Place one hand on your chest, the other on your belly. Allow your body to arrive before your mind tries to catch up to this moment. And I want to urge you and invite you to go ahead and slowly take a deep breath in and gently release when you are ready. So today's episode is going to be for the woman who feels that something has shifted in her life, but she doesn't quite feel ready to move yet. She's not ready to decide. She's not ready to act. She's not ready to explain what's happening to her, even if it's just to herself. And if you're wondering, why am I here? What's wrong with me? I want to go ahead and say this clearly. There is nothing wrong with you, and you don't need to be ready yet to move. So you see, we live in a culture that treats readiness like it's a requirement. Be ready to respond. Be ready to pivot at any given moment. Be ready to get back to where you were. But your nervous system doesn't move on from timelines. It moves on safety. It moves when it starts to feel safe to do so. So if you're someone who's recently experienced a shutdown or some anxiety, whether that's emotional, physical, or relational, your body isn't seeking motivation or discipline immediately. It's seeking safety. It's asking for reassurance. It's asking that it can trust you. Most women don't rush because they're lazy or broken. They rush because that's what they are trained to do. Go from the next goal to the next. Move, power through, get it done. They rush because the stillness actually feels unsafe in a world that rewards momentum and rewards always being in consistent action. But if you're in this in-between space right now, you're not collapsed, you're not quite activated, you're not stuck, you're just reorienting yourself right now. So in my HER method, I always start by honoring what's present without trying to fix it. It's the awareness that we move from first. So right now, that might look like for you low energy, being in a little bit of a fog, resistance, or a quiet, I don't even know what I want yet. Instead of asking yourself, what should I do? Try asking your body, what feels safe right now? What feels tolerable right now? Not productive. You don't have to go for the impressive, big next step forward. Just tolerable. That question begins rebuilding your trust and rebuilding your system. So I want to take a few moments to bring you back into your body and get the body back into the room with you. So if you're able to do this while you're sitting down or standing, just take a moment to slow down right now. There is no where else you need to be. Just be present. And if you're listening to this while you're doing some work or while you're running an errand, I would highly suggest to come back to this. But like I said, you can do this seated or standing. I'm going to ask you to inhale slowly through your nose for a count of 4. Pause gently at the top for 2. And exhale through your mouth for a count of 6. And let your exhale be longer than your inhale. And you want to do this 3 times together with me. So that would be another inhale slowly through your nose for 4. Pause gently for 2. And exhale through your mouth for a count of 6. One more time. Inhale slowly through your nose for a count of 4. Pause gently at the top for 2. Exhale through your mouth for a count of 6. And as you breathe, just notice, how is the weight of your body? Where is it being supported right now? Do you feel the temperature of your air that's in the room beside you're in? Is there any place that feels settled when you're breathing in your body? Pay attention to the thoughts that are arising, and just know whether you consider them good thoughts or bad thoughts, they're all okay. Just observe them. You're not trying to clear your mind in this moment. You're just letting your body know it's safe to be present and safe to be with it. One more breath, slowly in through your nose and gently out through your mouth. So I just want to take a moment and remind you, because if you're listening to me, there's a high chance you're a high achieving woman. But we rarely hear that the pause isn't weakness. It's where your system reorganizes. Embodiment in this season can look like short walks instead of pushing a workout. Yoga, where you might be like me into your heavy weightlifting cardio classes. It can look like fewer words instead of explaining yourself. Allowing your disappointment to exist without trying to fix it in your relationships. You don't need clarity just yet. You need contact with your breath, your body, your truth with a capital T. And ask yourself, what am I overriding right now to pure okay? Because so many times we start to disconnect ourselves and we try to put ourselves in this, I can do everything. I can be everything to everyone. And what I've come to realize is you're just consciously overriding yourself so that you appear like you have it all together. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but there's something to be said about allowing yourself to have the grace to slow down. And if you can gently remind yourself, stop overriding everything. Let me be in this moment. Let me be present and aware of what is coming up for me, rather than I need to constantly fix, I need to improve, I need to change. Let me just be aware of what's coming up, because conscious awareness is the key to the next moment. It is the key to forward momentum. So that would have been the E, embodying the pause. And R for rise is rising without rushing in this instance. It doesn't always start with an action. It starts with your permission. Permission to not know. Permission to give yourself grace. Permission to move slowly. Permission to disappoint other people's timelines, including your own at times. Readiness isn't going to arrive as pressure. It arrives at your capacity. A little more breath, a little more curiosity, a little less bracing for yourself. And if today isn't that day, that's not failure, it's intelligence. So if you take anything away from this episode, let it be this. You're not behind. You are starting to listen to yourself and listen to your body and listening to how you rise without abandoning yourself. Because here's the thing. When we don't take our bodies on the journey, we end up burning out. You can only push so much before you hit a shutdown, before you get sick, before you face anxiety. So listening to yourself is how you rise without abandoning yourself. Stay here in this moment as long as you need to. You don't need to be ready yet. You just need to be open. So I'll see you in the next episode. And if this resonated, please share it with a woman who could use the message and the reminder to just take a gentle pause. And until the next one, that's all for now.